Session will now come to order. Please rise for the Philippine National Anthem. Please remain standing for the opening prayer to be led by the Honorable Bani Siniar.
Dear Lord, as we deliberate in today's session, give us the wisdom to overcome passion. Give us that understanding heart to do away with prejudice. Give us the foresight to know what the future may devise. Give us the courage and strength to seek the truth and what is good. Give us the facility of language that we may be understood. And finally, O Lord, make us worthy public servants of this province we deeply love and highly honor, the province of Camarines Sur, the premier province of Bicol Region. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Honorable Senior, Honorable Bani Senior. I'd like to be specific because there are two seniors na here. Anyway, may now request the Secretary to do the roll call.
Honorable Vice Governor Fortunato C. Peña.
Present.
Honorable Board Member Warren A. Siniar. Honorable Board Member Romulo O. Hernandez. Honorable Board Member Darius S. Nopra. Honorable Board Member Fabio F. Figuracion. Honorable Board Member Nelson B. Julia. Honorable Board Member Dito P. Espiritu Jr. Honorable Board Member Angel G. Naval. Honorable Board Member Emmanuel H. Noble. Honorable Board Member Hilmar S. Pacamara. Honorable Board Member Amador L. Simando. Honorable Board Member Giovanni A. Senior. Honorable Board Member Domingo U. Briones. Honorable Board Member Ronel C. Stampa. Mr. Chairman, I have the honor to certify the existence of a quorum.
Thank you. Now that we have the quorum, we'll now proceed with our session. The Honorable Naval is now recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there will be no inclusion in our agenda, I move for the approval of our agenda.
Yes, the Honorable Espiritu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm moving for the inclusion of a committee report under the Committee on Peace and Order, Human Rights and Prisoners' Welfare, particularly the action of the committee regarding the letter dated July 16 from Senior Superintendent Ramiro Bausa about the resolution approving the local anti-criminality plan, provincial level. I move for its inclusion under committee report, Mr. Chairman.
Any second. Duly seconded. Any objection? Remarks? The chair hears none. The same is approved. Any other inclusions?
I suppose, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Board Member Simandos, an inclusion? None. So if there will be no more inclusion, Mr. Chairman, I move for its approval as amended, the agenda as amended.
Yes, the Honorable Warren Senior, what's your concern? There was already a motion. Is that a remarks or?
Mr. Chairman, this is the inclusion, Mr. Chairman.
Additional,
Yes,
inclusion. Okay.
Yes, because this is the problem, Mr. Chairman. This was referred to the committee. It was calendared yesterday under first reading, but this
Ayan.
was referred to the Committee on Laws and Review. But this is something, Mr. Chairman, as very urgent. We find it very urgent because this will benefit the employees of the province of Camarines Sur as a loan program for the employees.
Yes, what's the point of the Honorable Nopra?
If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Chairman, that subject matter was referred to the committee headed by Board Member Amador Simando. Meaning, Mr. Chairman, at this juncture, is Board Member Warren Senyar, ano po, take out niya sa committee when he is not the chairman? That is my point of order, Mr. Chairman.
That's my point, Mr. Chairman. I am also in a quandary, Mr. Chairman. That's why I am asking the chairman of the Committee on Rules with regards this, how do we treat this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Is that an ordinance?
Yes, the ordinance.
The ordinance, Mr. Chairman, was calendared yesterday, our last session. That was placed under first reading, considering that it is an ordinance. Then this representation moved for the referral of that ordinance to the Committee on Laws and Review. So it is already with the Committee on Laws and Review. And if we want to take it to discuss the matter, Mr. Chairman, we have to move to take out the issue, the ordinance from the committee and place that under business for the day. Unless the chairman who is supposed to receive, or the chairman of the committee who is supposed to receive that ordinance has things otherwise, Mr. Chairman.
In that case, Mr. Chairman, I move that we take out from the committee this particular ordinance, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, yes. What's the point of order? First, Board Member Nopra, and then Honorable Simando.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As explained earlier by Board Member Nabal, it should be the committee where it was referred to who should act on that. And now, Board Member Simando, Mr. Chairman, let us ask Board Member Simando, is it okay for him na i-take up tanangon yan, ang matter na yan, digdi sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan? Ta ako po, nagre-raise lang ko point of order pass kasi may procedure kita, may mga proseso kita. And after this, Mr. Chairman, may mga kaputan ako kung mag-insist na take up on ko niyan. Ta ako baga, Mr. Chairman, guruli kita sudma, di ako nagkukontra. Kundi may mga bagay digdi na dapat man hilingon ta kung tama. Kung okay sa chairman, may problema kay board member Nopra. Pero may mga kaputan po ako. Pwede po.
Okay. So, well taken. Yes, the Honorable Senior. The Attorney Simando, the Honorable Simando has something to say.
Honorable Simando.
Mr. Chairman, to be candid, I have not yet officially received the draft of the resolution which was referred to my committee yesterday. But if Board Member Senior is willing to take out from my committee, they said draft resolution, we will agree.
Okay. So, yes, what's the pleasure of the Honorable Hernandez?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pwede po i-take out na dahil panganin na i-transmit itong in-refer sa committee kan secretary.
May we know the opinion of the chairman of the House Rules? The internal rules?
It will always depend, Mr. Chairman, upon the majority of the members. So at any time when a measure is referred to Actually, there is a certain period, Mr. Chairman, and so that the measure cannot be made hostage of a committee, there is a period, pingapahanap tango niya, Mr. Chairman, kung mag-abot na naman sa period or it seems that it is already dormant, the presiding officer or a majority of all the members can take out that measure from that committee. But at any time, Mr. Chairman, when there is an urgency on the matter, upon majority vote of the members, Mr. Chairman, we can take it out from the committee. Pero by taking it out, it does not mean na approve na yan. Ilalag mo pa lang yan sa calendar of business for us to discuss. It does not mean na pag na-take out mo sa kanailaag mo na sa calendar of business, di mo na siya pwedeng i-refer ulit. Kung di kumbinsido ang members, Mr. Chairman, that can be referred to different committees so that it will be more explained. Ang gusto lang sabihin kan taking it out from the committee, mag-discuss na ang Sangguniang Panlalawigan as a whole on the matter. But it does not preclude all members or even the Sangguniang itself from referring it back to other committees so that it will be more explained. So ang gustong sabihin lang kani Mr. Chairman is to take out for us to discuss. Di pa man to approve. Pero kung kumbinsido na, this can be approved.
Yes, the Honorable Pacamara. After that, the Honorable Hernandez.
Mr. Chairman, with due respect sa chairman ng rules and sa chairman ng operation, pero po dako lang insulto man dyan sa parte kang committee sa muya kay chairman tawag sa members na i-take out at i-discuss kang committee sa salita na kayang i-discuss kang committee ba? Now, urgent sabi urgent. Hain ang letter na ini kay puha na maray na aprobaran kang Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Hain ang supporting documents kang nasambit na ordinansa. So, ikaw kita ning house rule na kung saan minsan binabalgar ta na pwede at stake dyan, kita masarap po ng mga membro kang Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Actually, ako, Mr. Chairman, dahil ako kontra sa programa kang presidenteng administrasyon. Where in fact, sabi ko po ba kahit pa na ako masuporta 100% sa gabos sa programa, iproyekto para sa karahayan kang sa tuyang probinsya. Pero sa puntong ini, Mr. Chairman, pero bako man magayon na basang tanasan ng hahalion sa sarong komitiba na dahil pa man nga na-transmit sa iyang komitiba. Pandua, dahil ba kaya kang komitiba, kan mga membro kang komitiba na aksyonan o adalan ining ordinansa hali sa opisina kan sa tuya pong namumutan na gobernador. So yung masarap po yan sa kuyang punto.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, we already found the appropriate section. That is section 48. Sabi na baga may period, discharge from committee of resolutions or ordinances not reported. This is an instance wherein a certain measure, Mr. Chairman, is not reported. So there is already a time elapsed that maybe the committee has not yet acted. A member may present to the secretary a motion in writing to discharge from a committee the consideration of a resolution or an ordinance which has been referred to it over 15 days prior thereto, except the Committee on Laws and Review and the Committee on Finance and Appropriation, which has 30 days to report and has not returned to the Sanggunian. Ang gusto sabihin ko ni Mr. Chairman, itong nakaabot na sa committee, dahil piga-actora, after 15 days, anybody can write to the Sanggunian. Halimbawa, si ordinansa ko, dahil piga-actoran ganitong sarong committee ba, pwede na akong magsurat sa secretary and present a motion na i-take out na itong kuyan. I-take out after 15 days. Na, Mr. Chairman, this is the only available provision from our rules. Kaya yun man lang yung nagsasabi ko.
Anyway, Mr. Chairman, can I talk?
Okay,
Mr. Chairman?
recess. 2 minutes. Yes.
Okay lang. Mr. Chairman.
Session will resume. Yes,
Thank-
the Honorable
thank you,
Senior, what's
Mr.
your
Chairman.
pleasure?
We have agreed, Mr. Chairman, that we just take this up later, Mr. Chairman. So on this note, Mr. Chairman, I move to withdraw my previous motion to take this out from the committee.
So, it is now withdrawn.
So, in that context, Mr. Chairman, I reiterate my motion for the approval of the agenda as amended with only one inclusion.
With only one duly seconded, any other remarks? Objection? The chair hears none. The agenda for today as amended is hereby approved.
The appearance of Engineer Abelardo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move for the suspension of the rules so that our guest from the Department of the Regional Office of the Department of Agriculture be given time for them to show to us their plans and programs. But in the absence of the OIC Regional Officer, Director Engineer Abelardo Bragas, we have our able RTD, Ma'am Director De Los Santos.
Rule
And,
suspended.
May kababayan, Mr. Parato.
Okay.
I think, Mr. Chairman, they have materials for presentation. We might as well allow them first to to present their plans and programs. After that, we ask for some queries, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
please go ahead.
Good morning to the Honorable Vice Governor and Presiding Officer of the Sangguniang, and also to the Honorable Board Members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Camarines Sur. Before I turn over the microphone to Mr. Ernesto Parato, who is our Chief of the Planning Division, in behalf of the Department of Agriculture Region 5, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude and thanks to the Sangguniang for giving us this rare opportunity of sharing with you the programs and projects of the Department of Agriculture here in Camarines Sur, because I see this as a very opportune time to start strengthening further our collaboration and partnership, all for the good of our farmers and fisher folk in the province of Camarines Sur. So again, thank you in behalf of our OIC Regional Executive Director, Director Abelardo Bragas, who is now on official trip to the United States of America. So I now give you Mr. Ernesto Parato for our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Director De Los Santos. Maray na aldaw po sa Sato Gabos. Ito po these are the programs and projects of the Department of Agriculture for year 2013 and 2014. Sinasabi po na Camarines Sur is an ideal investment hub with its investment and development programs. It is a middle of Bicolandia, the largest among the 6 provinces, and it is dominated by rich and fertile soil. It is an ideal base for broad range of resource-based industries suited for the growing and production of a wide variety of food and commercial crops. Locally grown fruits and ornamentals are gaining popularity in foreign markets. These are the major investment opportunities for Camarines Sur. For agriculture and fishery, forestry, the province is good for agro-industrial economic zone. For abaca production and processing, coconut production and processing, high-value crops, forest and commercial tree plantation and processing, livestock production and processing. The Camarines Sur is endowed with 2 lakes, 1 Phantom Lake, in the coastal areas na pinaka-malaki sa Bicol region. Wherein fishery development can be focused on culture of fen fishes, shellfish, seaweeds, aquaculture facilities, development of support ancillary industries such as fish processing plants, fish feed processing. The next slide speaks of the one town, one product, which we derive from the Department of Trade and Industry as generated by them. So here you can see different one town, one product of the province, which are generally, mostly of these are agri-based. Next slide, please. So the major industries in the province are food technology and processing, especially on production of rice, wherein Camarines Sur is more than self-sufficient in rice. The province is exporting rice to other provinces in the region, Catanduanes and Masbate, and also in Visayas areas and part of Luzon. It's also one of the biggest corn producer now in Bicol region. Actually, it's #1 as far as corn is concerned in the Bicol region. In its markets, it's corn in the southern Luzon, specifically Batangas and Cavite and Quezon provinces for feed purposes. It has also coconut, vegetables, and processing of fili, squash, meat, banana, mango, and fish. It has also abaca, which are utilized for cinamay production, decorative items, and paper making. We have also the bamboo industry, specifically in Rinconada area, and also organic fertilizer and chemicals. Next slide. These are the activities that we are conducting actually, which is related to organic agriculture, provide technical assistance trainings for the good manufacturing processes of pili as the region's commodity, technical assistance given to agri-science farm featuring modern production of high-value crops at the same time as tourism spot. We also partners with local producers and entrepreneurs, especially those engaged in organic farming that can be sites for agritourism and at the same time for a more improved technology promotion for farmers. Camarines Sur at a glance. Camarines Sur now, I think, has a 1.8 million population, and it is projected to have 1.9 by year 2017. For production, next slide, please. The production data. Camarines Sur had produced 284,000 metric tons in 2012, and it's projected to have almost 300,000 metric tons for 2013. These are from irrigated and rain-fed areas. And also for corn, we are projecting to have 64,000 metric tons of corn. For livestock, as you can see, these are the number of heads that we are projecting to be produced in 2013. 2014, actually that's the production, the population of livestock and poultry in the province for 2012. And also for other commodities like pili, pineapple, mango, banana, coffee, and vegetables. Next slide, please. For 2013, these are our projections that we can hit 1,246,000 metric tons, for corn 206,000 metric tons, for high-value crops, root crops, and livestock, as shown in the projector. Next slide, please. We have these strategic agricultural fishery development zones in the region, in the province. Actually, these are, as provided for under APMA, the area in Camarines Sur were identified with the different uses and identified as sub-DCs or strategic areas for agriculture and fishery development. Our crop area is 192,000 hectares. For livestock, area used for livestock is 10,000. Generally, these are grassland, pasture land. For fishery, inland fishery, 9,000. For crop livestock, these are crops under coconut and other parang ano sila, mga under coconut and trees. The suited for livestock, 50,000 hectares, for a total of 263,000 areas good for agriculture and fisheries. The non-sub-DC areas include the remaining protected areas of 94,000. For agroforestry, we only have 471 hectares. For watershed or forestry zone, we still have 148,000 hectares. Built-up areas, these are the areas where building settlements are, including roads, is estimated to be 17,000 hectares. The grand total for sub-DC and non-sub-DC areas is 526,000 hectares. Next slide, please. These are the programs and projects of DA, specifically the funding for 2013 and 2014. We have these 6 programs indicated. Actually, it's 7. We only failed to include the organic agriculture program. Actually, it should have been part of that, but we were able, it was omitted. But for these 6 programs, which are rice, corn, high-value crops, livestock, bottom-up budgeting, and also for farm-to-market roads, for 2013, we have an approved budget of 468 million Almost two-thirds of that is for bottom-up budgeting and FMR project. The rest goes to the other five banner programs. For 2014, we proposed actually 654 million for all these programs and projects. BUB had increased from 182,000 to 238. Farm to market roads had increased also from 125 to 160. The details of 213 programs and projects is on the following slides. Next slide, please. Next slide. So the 2013 farm program includes farm mechanization and post-harvest, which amounts to 89 million. This includes the provision of tractors, collapsible dryers, combined harvesters, drag seeder, floating tiller, diversion dams, the construction of diversion dam, palay shed, multipurpose drying pavements, flatbed dryers rehabilitation, warehouse, construction of warehouse, provision of hand tractors, hermetic cocoon, moisture meter, rice dresser, and seed cleaner, or a total of 87 facilities with amounting to 89 million. That's for the farm mechanization and post-harvest program. Next slide speaks of bottom-up budgeting. This is now the focus of the reform being undertaken by the government, specifically by the Department of Budget and Management, the National Anti-Poverty Commission, or the NAPSI, the DBM, the DILG, and the NEDA, which is, there is that cluster at the national level that promotes bottom-up budgeting. And under bottom-up budgeting, the proposals is generated from the municipalities after consultations with basic sector, including the municipal government. Then they identify this project. Then they are submitted to the regional office, consolidated, and submitted to the national government. So there are already identified projects from different municipalities. For 2013, we have 182 million for BUB with 108 projects from the different municipalities. Actually, for 2013, only 21 municipalities had been identified for BUB. The identification of municipalities is based on the poverty incidence, the ranking of poverty incidence. So the first 21, the poverty is still high, incidence is high. That's why they were the focus for these interventions. 108 projects with 182 million. The sources of funds are the DA program, which is 162 million, and the special purpose fund of 19 million. Actually, this 136 million versus 182 million. Out of the original of 182 million, the DA in the special purpose fund can only fund 136 million worth of projects. The difference, we call it unfunded. Because in the process of the BUB identifications, there were projects that were referred to DA. Then when we analyze it, some of these are not DA, not within the menu of DA. When we say not within the menu of DA, we refer to the different services that should have been offered by government. And these services are classified whether these are national programs, these are provincial programs, or municipal programs based on the devolved functions. So some of these projects that were not funded, actually mostly of these are devolved activities or services of local government units. So we asked them to change their projects and identify within the menu of DA. But still, the difference, we have the national government has to seek funding for that difference. Now, for farm to market road projects, we were given 125 million. These are the distribution by district. District 5 has the bulk, followed by District 4, District 3, District 1 and 2, 5 million each, for a total estimated length of 11 kilometers. Next slide, please. For 2014, as I've said, we have proposed an increase of our budget, and specifically for Camarines Sur from 468 million to 654 million in 2014. And this consists of the following. For farm mechanization and post-harvest, under the rice program, there is a proposed allocation of 127 million. For corn program, 29 million. For high-value crops development, 7 million, for a total of 165 million for farm mechanization. Next slide. For bottom-up budgeting, it had increased to, by district, for Camarines Sur District 1, the number of projects, 18 million with 25, 18 projects with 25 million budget. As presented in the first slide, the bottom-up budgeting project for 2013 has a budget of 182 million, and the proposed for 2014 is 238 million, consisting of this, what's in the projection. 26 million for Camarines Sur District 1, 65 million for District 2, 33.9 for District 3, 47 million for District 4, 5. Omit ata ang District 4. The District 4, I think, was omitted in the slide. Then, FMR project, we have 160 million as proposed for 2014. So, as I've said earlier, the summary is that for 2013, we have 468 million for Camarines Sur, for implementation in the province of Camarines Sur. In 2014, we had proposed 654 million pesos for these different programs and projects. We have the details by municipality, a listing, which can be shown if it can be linked to the computer, the details by municipality and by district on these different programs and projects. So thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any question from the body?
Mr. Chairman, Board Member Julia is not available today. In fact, he is absent and he has some ailment. So, Mr. Chairman, saro lang po ang gusto kong i-inquire. Pwede pong maraman itong farm mechanization, mga ano pong pwede ito? Kasi post-harvest na ito, post-harvest.
Sa farm mechanization po, under ng RICE program, nagpo-provide po tayo ng hand tractors, four-wheel drive tractors, threshers, mga transplanters, mga ganun po.
When we speak of we provide, how do we provide? Ano ba? Pigtataotang libre or binabayadan?
Okay po. Meron po tayong proseso niyan. Yung pong ating mga priority recipients po niyan ay yung mga irrigators associations, farmers associations, and meron po tayong criteria. So pag nakapasa po sila sa criteria, magsasubmit po sila ng letter of intent with the documents. And ang sharing, meron po tayong sharing ng amount, 85-15. 85% po will be provided by DA and the remaining 15% will be given by the recipient association or irrigators.
So meaning, yung 85%, gusto mo pong sabihin, paman traktor, and mabakal traktor coming from the fund DA fund na 85% and counterpart to 15. So, iyan po ang magiging amount kan
Yan po,
tractor,
amount
say
po.
for example, sa tractor. So, iyan po, only through Irrigators Association.
Not necessarily po, mga IAs, mga farmers associations, and recently po, nire-recognize na rin namin ang mga local government units.
So,
Dahil,
including LGU, pwede na po mag-avail. So,
pwede na po mag-avail.
Still 85-15.
Okay po, pwede po sila mag-avail, but on the note na meron din po silang supposedly recipient na associations, and the LGUs will provide the 15% equity.
When we talk of LGU, ma'am, barangay kaiba po.
Municipal
So,
po.
qualified po ang they qualified
Opo,
ang
they po
barangay.
qualified.
So, it starts from municipality, city, and the province.
Ang karamihan po sa mga barangay LGUs, ang nire-request nila ay yung multipurpose drying pavement na gusto po
Solar
nilang
dryer, ito po.
solar dryer. Kumbaga po, pwedeng gamitin nila for other purposes.
So, yung pong solar dryer na yan, and solar dryer po, the same, ano po ang counterparting tax?
Ang counterparting naman po dyan, 100% po ng costing ay sa DA. Ang counterpart po ng recipient ay yung lupa at yung preparasyon po ng lupa. Dapat po ready for construction na. Hindi, yung, kung may mga dumping pong gagawin, dapat po part
So,
na
that
po
will
yun.
be the counterpart.
Opo.
So, yan po, qualified and barangay level. Barangay level.
Lately po, kinukonsider namin ang mga BLGUs dahil medyo kulang po yung ating mga IAs na nag-a-apply dahil po minsan kakulangan po ng lupa kung wala po silang lupa na mapapagtayuan.
Okay. So, all of those, ma'am, sir, all of those are for Kamsur only.
Opo.
So, this is a regional program for Kamsur. Apo.
Regional program po yan lahat ng probinsya meron po tayo pero
yung
yun pong
present
budget
nyo,
na yon,
for Kamsur
allocation
yun,
na po yan ng
for
Camarines.
Kamsur. And would you like to inform us about the comparison of the budget from 2013 to 2014? So, ano po ang...
As shown po doon
Is
sa...
there a remarkable increase or decrease?
Remarkable increase po.
Increase
For
by-
example,
by how
opo.
many-
Okay,
sige
so ito po kasing 2030 natin is, ang total budget po nito is 468,792. But for 2014 po, ang proposal po natin for the province is 654,752.
So almost-
An increase of about 200
million.
200
So,
million.
more th- almost one half. So,
Opo.
50% increase.
Opo.
Ano po? Why is that, ma'am?
Actually po, as recommended by DBM, the provinces of Camarines Sur and Masbate are being prioritized for increased budget for 2014 for the very reason that these two provinces of our region are among the top 20 poorest of the poor provinces. Kaya po ganun po yung naging hatian sa...
So, because of that label
Opo,
na
yun
ang
nga po.
Camarines Sur kaiba sa 20 poorest of the poor,
Opo, okay.
kaya po kita dinagdagan.
Opo.
So, kasorry po kita member kan poorest of the poor.
I think,
Ha?
hindi ba tayo kasama 2009?
Only in
Only
2013.
now.
So, before 2013, di po kita kayo dyan sa poorest of the poor.
Masbate and Camarines Norte. I think Camarines
So,
Norte.
nahulog kita
Oo.
in 2013. Only in 2013. And the reward will be additional funding so that we can go away with that. So, may we ask honestly, paano po kita nahulog kita sa 20 poorest of the poor?
Actually
Of course,
po,
it's not only DA. Siyempre,
it's not
kapos po yan.
DA,
Kaya lang,
okay.
as far as agriculture is concerned in the province of Camarines Sur, paano po kita nakalaog duman, mga parameters sa indicators sa taning makaiba kita duman?
In terms of indicators po, I think the parameters did not came from the Department of Agriculture. I think it's on income, tsaka po yung mga percentage of malnourished children, yung mga report po ng ating mga LGUs na yon mga sa malnourished children. Yun
So,
po yung
grabihon po pala ng grabe ang effect kay itong malnourished data. Permi itong number one na indicator or parameter kan. So, because of that, nahulog po kita duman sa 20 poorest of the poor.
In fact, many people are asking why Camarines Sur is included. When in fact, talaga makikita na maganda yung, yung ating development.
So,
Pero-
ma'am, aside from DA is given additional fund of 200 million and we are determined to get away with that label na na title na member kita kan 24 of the poor. Will that additional fund eradicate malnourishment malnutrition in the province? Baka po sa laaso target ta. Baka siging garastos na lidi and malnutrition niya on manggiraray. So we have to target that because saro to sa kausakan kung taanong po kita tanahulog duman sa o nakalaog kita duman sa na-qualify kita duman sa 24 of the poor. Will it address malnutrition? Garo kay baga garo harayo na po. Agriculture bigoro layan ta, post-harvest facilities, and the rest, dagdag ingreso, ani, saparoy, mais, gabos, high value crops. Pero, ang bottom line is malnutrition.
Yes, ma'am.
Kaya nga kita nahulog o nakalaog kita. So, will it address?
Actually, ang measure kung nahulog kita, itong sinasabing Human Development Report, and malnutrition is only one. The number one there is the income. Per capita income. Per capita income among provinces, among region. So usually that's being undertaken by NEDA. The NECB conducts that quarterly, annually. All these are being conducted. Then the result shows that Camarines Sur naginang part ng top 20. Actually, sa result sinasabi, mas mataas tayo sa Masbate. Previously, ang na-top 20 talaga is Masbate, number 2 among the provinces in the country. But now, the top 20, mas alangkaw ang Camarines Sur with versus Masbate. And Camarines Sur was included. Pag sinabing top 20, gustong sabihin kang national government, all agencies in the country or in the province, or in the region for that matter, should address that. This one is for DA lang.
Okay.
So other agencies will be having programs and projects addressed to that, increasing also their budget for Camarines Sur. So these are interagency budgets. And for DA, this is the only this is the allocation.
Doing
that
our part.
Yes,
sa
yes,
DA.
for DA. So as far as malnutrition, I think the other agencies will address that, DOH, DSWD, all those things.
So we heard, ma'am, that there is already an initiative from the region that to augment or to request for the augmentation or to come up with a tie-up with the provincial government, and the employees of the provincial government will be augmenting with the programs. So, kumusta na po? Kumusta na
Okay. Yes, because of this increase in budget and because of the rationalization of the Department of Agriculture, despite this very high increase in budget, the number of manpower of the department is decreasing. So we have requested the provincial government to provide us with additional manpower in terms of your provincial agricultural services, and we are happy to inform the Sangguniang that the Honorable Governor have provided us already with a list of the manpower that will be composing the provincial agricultural services. I think it's about 44 of them to help us in the implementation and monitoring of these agricultural programs and projects to be implemented in Camarines Sur.
So, yes, ma'am. So, it will be a region-led program.
Yes, okay.
With provincial employees in it. Ano po? So, para ma-address na to, itong mga goal and targets kan region for 2014. Ano po? Pero that will be in 2014. What about today? Nagpupo na po kita?
Nagpupo na po kita. Actually po, since time immemorial, talaga naman pong kapartner natin ang Provincial Agricultural Services Manpower. Kaya lang po nga medyo nagkukulang-kulang. Kaya ngayon pong taon na ito ay ginawa po talaga namin na kumbaga madagdagan po dahil ang talaga pong tamang proseso, although regional programs and projects po ito, dapat po sa isang probinsya ay binibigyan po namin ng karapatan ang provincial government na sila po yung mamuno. Kaya lahat po ng activities namin sa bawat proyekto ay collaborated with the province. For example po, pagka nagkaroon tayo ng calamities sa mga munisipyo natin, ang tamang protocol po niyan ay yung ating mga munisipyo, magsasubmit po yan ng damage report sa ating provincial report officer. Tapos yung ating pong provincial office, ang magsasubmit naman po sa region ng validated reports. At yun po yung aming aaksyonan. Hindi po sana kami nagre-recognize ng mga municipal level reports lang kung hindi po dadaan sa probinsya.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask, with that 600 million budget for 2014, magkano po naka-allocate sa mga congressman?
Well, actually po,
Kasali po ang
opo,
congressman
opo.
dyan sa 600 million?
Diyan po sa 600 million
Or how
yan,
much will be implemented by the congressman?
okay, yan pong 600 million na yan, divided po natin yan sa congressional districts.
Opo, opo.
But primarily po, the Department of Agriculture Region 5 will be the one implementing. The same way with the provincial office, our congressional district representatives can request, can recommend recipients of our interventions. The same
Tama
po
po
yan.
yan.
Oo. So wala po tayong ipoprovide na pera sa isang congressman, kundi po pwede po siyang magrekomenda kung sino po yung mga pwedeng maging recipient sa distrito po nila. Kagaya po ng Camarines Sur, pwede rin po kayo, ang gobernador, kayo po, pwede po kayong mag-suggest o mag-recommend sa amin ng pwede po natin maging
So
recipient.
this fund is a regular fund of the department for
Opo.
Camarines Sur.
Opo.
Ano po? Hindi po yan naka-care of kay congressman.
Hindi po, hindi
Hindi
po.
po. Wala
Hindi po.
pong
Regular po
wala
yan,
pong
hindi.
naka-care of kay congressman.
Hindi po.
But the congressman can channel funds to DA for implementation.
Normally po, yung dati po yung mga PDAF na
PDAF.
nanggagaling po kung saan, pwede po nilang i-channel.
With these irrigators association.
Pwede
Yun na po
po.
yan. Yun ang sistema. Ano. Anyway, so it's very clear, Mr. Chairman, that the fund is a regular fund by the region which will be implemented by the region itself. Ino-augment lang ng provincial government and the governor is very willing to support the programs only to come up with a good result for 2014. And the province can request for or can recommend associations, group for the availment of these projects. And the provincial government po, pwede rin po magbigay ng share.
Yes, pwede po.
Pwede pong magbigay ng share yung counterparting so that they can avail instead the association giving this share. Ano po? One last query lang, Mr. Chairman. According to NFA, it's DA who is in charge with the production of rice. It's not them. So, are we capable of producing, are we sustainable, or are we a surplus province or dependent province?
Surplus na surplus po ang Camarines Sur. In fact, yung official data po ng BAS, from January to June, ang Camarines Sur po is 168% self-sufficient sa rice. At ang ibang probinsya po ng region, actually ang Camarines Sur ang humihigit pataas. Kaya po yung ating self-sufficiency
So
region-wide,
region-wide
po ay 100.
surplus tayo.
Opo, January
Because
to
of
June po.
Kamsur.
Because of Kamsur.
But still the poorest.
Yes. January to June po, region-wide is 118% self-sufficiency tayo. Ang Camarines Sur ay 168% self-sufficient.
I would like to yield, Mr. Chairman, to other members who would like to ask queries to.
Yes,
Thank you.
before that, the chair would like to give a comment on the classification of Kamsur as one of the 20 poorest of the poor provinces. I think the chair is not convinced with that. Maybe there is only something wrong with the reporting system. The gathering of data in the province actually should be corrected and should be rectified so that we will not be classified. But for the record, the chairman is not convinced with that. Is not amenable to that data. But for the record, the chairman is happy because there are increases in the budgets of the different agencies. And I hope that will really help in the development of the province. Yes, the Honorable Senior is Honorable Warren Senior is recognized. I have to be specific because we have
Thank you.
two Warrens.
Thank you,
Ay,
Mr.
Senior
Chairman. With regards to sa budget ba po ba ganito, 600 million? Kaso rin po yan, si proposal po nindo yan or sinasa Congress na po yan na
Sa Congress na po.
but with regards sa PDAF, sinasabi po ito si regular.
Outside.
With regards sa PDAF, day po nalagan man lamang halid naman sa PDAF. Taano po? Tana sa TV po ba yan, may ng PDAF. But si buong 27 billion, pigbaranga-banga to, distributed to the different departments. Day po naging recipient ang DA.
Sa preparation po kan sa muyang budget, usually nahihiling mi kung ano ang sa muyang pig-propose di iuid to pagabot sa Manila. So duman mismo ang nagde-determine ang Department of Agriculture Central Office.
Yes, my point.
Pero pag kasi po kaya
nasa Congress na,
Yeah.
this was submitted by
Yes,
you
yes,
sa
yes.
Congress.
Oo.
The executive budget was submitted sa Congress now.
Yes, yes.
With the clamor now na halion ng PDAF, silang sama lang halion eh.
Yes, yes.
But the congressmen will still identify projects itong kwartang ito. Ngunyan, so, i-distribute sa mga departments. Like for example, DPWH, nasa TV, recipient. Siguro pag-submit, kung perang bilyon, nag-increase siyempre ito, tapiglag naman, identified ang mga, pig-identify mga congressmen. With regards sa agriculture, kung ini si regular, lamang inabot duman sa agriculture.
Igwa po yan idadagdag sa Central.
So,
Kasi
igwa
minsan
man.
naapod na kami kung ano pa ang pwede. Kasi definitely baka itong lump sum talaga i-distribute ulit by agencies.
Okay.
That is outside the, outside
So,
the...
there's a possibility, si mga congressmen, nag-submit na, before the approval of the budget, with regards sa agriculture, si mga pet projects ninda, pwedeng isinrabmit ng unyan.
Pwede po.
Sa central office nindo.
Pwede
Na dahil
po
lang nindo po aram.
Hindi pa ngunyan.
So, is it possible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Pwede
Pero
po
ang pigiling mo po kung
Yes, yes.
pwede. Listing, may listing dapat yan.
Okay. So, in addition po, ito po kasi yung proposed budget natin yan, 1 year in the making po yan. So, matagal na po yung nakasubmit sa DBM at pinag-aralan nila bago po nila sinubmit sa Congress. Ito naman pong nangyari sa ating issue sa PDAP, di ba very late na po siya. So, bagaman po siguro yung ating mga congressman, meron ding submitted na PDAP budget na separate po dito sa ating DA budget. So, most probably po, kung ano yung maging desisyon nila na wala na talagang PDAP, baka po gawin ng insertion na lang po yan doon sa magiging actual budget po ng mga agencies. Pero ito pong ating propose na to talaga pong regular pa lang po
Si
yung
regular
ano
na yan.
Opo.
So, there's a possibility na ma-increase ang 600
Pwede pong
million.
mag-increase pa.
Dahil
Kung
pwedeng si mga pet projects ka mga congressmen, pwedeng
i-insert
ilang
nila.
pagyara sa DA.
Pwede pong i-insert.
Di ba? Okay. With regards to bottom-up budgeting, I've been hearing about this bottom-up budgeting. Ano ang proseso kang bottom-up budgeting?
Sige, Manny.
Na mga projects.
Actually po, kasi sabi ko nga ni, igwaning cabinet cluster na nag-initiate kayan, which includes DBM, the ILG, the National Anti-Poverty Commission, and another, NEDA, I think. Pig-ano ninda na dapat ang budgeting, kasi ang claimor ng NAPSI, dapat magkaigwaning budgeting from the municipalities, may consultations. Kaya, nag-conduct ng consultations ang mga municipalities na identified sa, kasi iba po kasing focus municipality yung sinasabi, sa gabos sa munisipyo sa Pilipinas, I think, sabi ko nga, ining 21 na inidig sa Camarines Sur na identify na among the poorest. Kaya sinda, pinagibuning plano sa munisipyo in consultation with the civil society organizations sa kayong mga basic sector sa munisipyo. Then, after analyzing mga problema, mga issues and concerns duman, they came up with a proposal. A list of projects, something like that, na iyungan yun ang pig-aproban kang Sangguniang Bayan, may approval po ang Sangguniang Bayan, at the same time, may resolution din ang civil society organizations dyan. So, process ng
It starts
consultation.
with the civil society and then approved by the Sangguniang Bayan?
Yes, yes, yes. The civil society organization is part of the process there. Kaya may signature ang civil society dyan sa mga documents na ali sa munisipyo. Kasi eventually, sinda rin kasi ang monitor kaya kung it is being implemented in the municipalities.
After approval, kan Sangguniang Bayan,
Kuya na po yan, madiretso na po yan sa regional level kasi there is the regional anti-poverty committee digdi sa regional level being chaired by the ILG. Pagka-consolidate po kayan, itatao sa agency, sa DA, itong para sa DA lang. All the other, duman man sa iba-ibang
It will not
agencies.
pass through RDC, the Regional
Yes,
Development
it is being endorsed by RDC. It passes the RDC, it's being deliberated on in the RDC. That's why for 2013, there was that deliberation or endorsement of the RDC.
So in other words, in bottom-up budgeting, ang nag-identify kayo nag-aaral, mga munisipyo.
Yes, yes, yes.
The province, mayong pagkaaram ng province. Because, as you said, after makapas ng Sangguniang Bayan resolution, if you forward ninda sa regional office.
Yes, 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 yes. Sumayo po talaga, even in the guidelines, the province is not identified. Kasi there are, I think, 3 joint memorandum circulars already, which is the basis or the guidelines in the conduct of BUB. Wala akong nabasang about the participation of provincial government in that particular BUB. Possibly
How do you
monitoring.
determine the amount for every municipality?
Igo po ng bigkaag na ceiling, something like for 15 million, something like that. So, or basta po may ceiling, something like 15 million per municipality for 2014. But for 2013, I think a lower ceiling. Hanggang duman lang sinda, ito ang gigibuan nila ng project proposals. Kung 2014 ay 15 million, may project proposal silang worth 15 million. But these projects is not only for DA. They can identify projects for the other agencies. But in totality, pag inad mo yung lahat na agencies na pag-request nila, it will total to 15 million.
This group na nag-identify in every municipality, different in it from the local development councils.
Actually, supposedly, the local development council is part of the BUB planning in the municipality. Because sa BU as a local development councils, andyan yung mga basic sector na pagkokonsulta.
So ini si mga NGOs ini ang nag-identify?
Yes.
The NGOs?
NGOs, yan, parte ng mga civil societies na sinasabi organization.
Then, ang process, tapos na nakukaila ko. So the NGOs will identify projects.
Yes, yes.
After that, it will be presented with the
To the Sangguniang.
With the Sangguniang or with the local development council?
Local Development Council and Sangguniang for endorsement ng Sangguniang. Kasi igwaman diyan kasi minsan ng mga equity na pwedeng i-provide ang Sangguniang. Kaya may approval sinda na itong equity, they will also be providing.
So with the
for
local
that.
budget, bottom-up budgeting, there is always an equity from the municipality.
Yes.
Like for example,
Some
how
has.
much? The 15 million, we peg it with 15 million. How much is the
Now,
equity of
the
municipality?
equity will now depend on the agency.
And the
Agency
project.
just like
Yes,
us
yes.
in the project. Kasi if the project is within the menu of DA, then kung ano man yung reglamento
Yung
or
50 natin,
implementing rules and regulations namin sa mga programa, yung fa-follow. Sabi nga ni, kung iganing post-harvest facilities, 85% sa LGU, sa project ng BUB, 15% to the recipient. So kung anong sharing me, yun din niya-apply namin sa BUB.
Paano?
Equity, 15% ang recipient or LGU, 85% sa DA.
DA, 85%.
The same.
The same with the itong
yes,
sa
yes,
system,
regular.
itong post, itong mga harvest na ko na ito.
Iyo po.
So, munisipyo, in the implementation, pwede sindang mag-gibo ng memorandum of agreement with you na ang kwarta ibagsak sa munisipyo, babagsakin do, or DA ang napabidding, then you do implement you implement the program, the projects.
Meron po tayong sa implementation po ng BUB, meron pong joint memorandum agreement yan. Na diyan po sinasabi po diyan na ang mga LGUs po ay pwede lang natin ma-downloadan ng pera pag po sila ay nakapasa sa 4 na criteria. Okay.
Yes.
Yun po, isa po doon yung seal of good housekeeping.
Yes.
Yun pong financial management nila sa DBM. Dapat po wala silang unliquidated doon sa agency na kung saan manggagaling yung project. At dapat po meron silang technical capability na mag-implement. Pagka po yung 4 na criteria na yan ay nalusutan nila, pwede pong i-download yung pera yung for the implementation of the BUB project.
Through a memorandum of agreement.
Through a memorandum of agreement. Okay. Pero yung pong ano natin na yan, yung criteria na yan, hindi po natin nasunod ngayong 2013. Dahil ang bulk po ng budget para sa BUB projects ng ating local government units, dahil hindi po nakapagbigay ang DBM ng separate budget sa BUB projects for 2013, kinuha lang po sa mga budget ng agencies, yung mga regular budget ng agencies. So for example po, kami po sa DA, advance bidding po kami doon sa procurement ng mga tractors, mga threshers, ano po, yung 2013 budget namin. And here comes one LGU na ang BUB project niya ay procurement ng mga hand tractors and threshers. Although qualified po siyang ma-downloadan, for example, dahil pasado siya doon sa 4 na criteria, hindi na po namin siya pwedeng ibigay yung pera sa kanya dahil nakatali na po, na-ibid na po namin yung ipoprocure namin na tractor sa threshers. So ibibigay namin po doon sa LGU in kind na po dahil nabili na po namin yung tractor sa threshers.
For 2013.
For 2013 po yon kasi nga po wala pong separate budget ang BUB. Kumbaga, na-prioritize lang po sila para po doon sa bibigyan namin ng aming interventions, yung mga LGUs.
The criteria you mentioned,
Opo.
ang province qualified doon because
Qualified
they
po,
qualified
okay
province.
po.
What if
walang
the entire budget would come of the DA, that is 600 million, or part of that, the province will enter into a memorandum of agreement with DA in the implementation of the programs, the projects, and we will allocate an equity also of 15%. Pwede ang province?
Okay. Under BUB po kaya, specific po yan sa mga municipal local government units na mag-implement ng BUB. Dahil ang identification po ng projects nga nila is from the local government in consultation with NGOs and civil society organizations. Pero I would like to inform you of an action by Governor of Albay, Governor Salceda, wherein he proposed for a provincial BUB. Ito pong sinasabi niya na interjurisdictional project. Meaning po na sabi niya, okay, anya ang BUB, municipal, kung within the municipality lang yung project. Pero how about those projects na nag-i-encompass ng several municipalities? Dapat anya, probinsya ang mag-propose niyan. Okay? So for 2014 po, nagdali-dali po nga si Governor na magkaroon ng consultation at nag-come up po siya ng several projects for BUB, provincial BUB. Endorse po namin sa national, sa NAPSI, sa DBM. Unfortunately po, inalis po ng DBM yung budget allocation, yung proposed budget allocation for provincial BUB ng Albay.
So wala yun.
So wala
Wala po. So,
Hindi
pero
pala
talaga
pwede
pong
yung
si
kwan.
Governor, nag-ano po siya na magkaroon ng
Isip na.
provincial BUB projects.
The BUB programs, nag-aadi sa Local Development Council, incorporated yan, ang amount na yan, the program, sa annual investment plan of the municipality? Are they incorporated?
I think so po dahil kailangan nilang mag-provide ng counterpart eh.
So nakalagay sa
Nakalagay
EIP?
po yan, oo. Dapat po.
May kadikit lang na Leo and 13, but hindi po.
Sa third.
So maagi mangyayari para sa review sa province, sa review, when we review the AIP, the budget of the municipality.
Opo.
So when they present the budget, yaon naman ang
Yaon
bottom,
po yan dyan.
itong mga programs na not the budget, but the AIP,
The AIP.
Iyo po, yan.
included duman.
Iyo po.
So there's a possibility that the AIP of a municipality is more than the budget of the municipality, the annual budget. Ang AIP nila. Dahil included ang mga programs nindo.
Ang kasama po doon sigurado yung ipang counterpart po nila. Dapat po na kasama po yon sa kanilang AIP. Lalo na po pag mga FMRs, yung halimbawa yung first, second, and third class municipalities, minimum of 10% po kasi yung kanilang dapat maging counterpart doon sa mga ganong proyekto. Kaya kailangan po meron silang naka-allocate na pang-counterpart.
So ang increase po, almost 200 million sa 2014.
Iyo po.
Itong poorest of the poor, when we qualify, pira pong increase kayan based on that. Gura na pang tiyatao.
Basta
Kaya
po,
percentage, how do you compute kung if you belong to the poorest of the poor?
Iba-iba kaya
yeah.
sa program.
Actually po kasi, itong committee ito na inter-cabinet yun sila po ang nagdetermine kung arin ang poorest municipality o sindaan nag-rank. Kaya nakalaog si 21 tadigdi sa Camarines Sur. Kasi igwa binasihan kung ano talaga yung poverty incidence, something like that. So, na-pinpoint, sabihin ta, 21 sa Camarines Sur. Then, parehas lang ang allocation. Pag sinabing 15 million per municipality, 15 million lang yun. Mayong...
Pero itong category sa poorest of the poor, with regards yan sa bottom-up budgeting.
Iyo po, iyo po.
Dumang kita na-identify sa bottom-up budgeting.
Iyo po.
Pero dahil kaiba na ang province of Camarines Sur sa bottom-up budgeting.
Mayo
So,
pa.
it is unfair na ilag mo ang province of Camarines Sur, poorest of the poor. The poorest municipalities, they belong to the poorest municipalities.
Iyo po.
Sinda, ang recipient, although nasa Camarines Sur, Sinda,
Nag-averaging kaya.
but si mga municipalities concerned, dahil sa kain sa Indaya, identified Sinda, they belong to the poorest municipalities. Ang province of Camarines Sur, dai.
As a whole.
Dahil dahil man kami kang included pala sa bottom-up budgeting na yan. If it were allocated sa province, ang bottom-up budgeting, baka napakarami. Yaong ka sa mga munisipyo eh. Oh, like for example, the budget, like for example, the vice governor, unfair sa province. Gurano ang IRAMI for next year, 2014. From the national government, luwas ang local revenue, 1.5 billion. Tipunon mo ang gabos na IRA kan mga munisipyo plus Iriga City. Inaabot mga 3 billion labi.
Yes.
More than double kan sa province. Mga barangay, ang IRA ninda, i-compute mo man, halos parehas kang province, mga 1.5 billion. So it's unfair ng Camarines Sur, i-categorize mo, yan pala, mga recipient, mga munisipyo, pwedeng dapat statement, poorest municipalities. Although, yan sa Camarines Sur, they are the poorest municipalities. Di ba? Yun lang, medyo comment ko lang doon sa kwento natin.
Kundi, dito mo po kaya yan mahali na ining mga municipalities in Let's sabihin tang 21 is not in Camarines Sur. So when you say this 21 municipalities, definitely it is in Camarines Sur. So Camarines Sur will come out. Although in the assessment ng poorest provinces, kabali po talaga yung gabos sa munisipyo. In-assess mo yung gabos, then total, Camarines Sur. Assess mo Masbate with 21 municipalities, assess that the poverty incidence, also something like that, then they have a summary among provinces. So pag sinamarize ng ranking ng mga provinces, iyo po yan ang luluwasan. Pero hali yan duman sa list sa
Then you should
mga
rank
municipalities.
You should rank the municipalities, not the provinces. You should rank, not the province. The municipalities. Like for example, Camarines Sur, pero ang municipalities ang recipient of the bottom-up budgeting projects. Pero po itong nasa lista.
21 po ito.
Out of the 35
Yes, 21.
municipalities,
21.
O, unfair man duman sa the recipient nga ni.
Yeah.
O, ano po si iba, they recipient, why? The other municipalities, they po recipient.
Kundi dito po yan maano kasi
Ano po tayo po recipient si iba?
Hindi,
Under
gani-
Camarines
ganito
Sur.
po.
Initial
kumbaga, we have
2014 kasama na yan.
this much for the DA for the province. This much from the provincial government fund, 3 billion. The bottom line is, why are the Camarinenses poor?
Dede po, ang point ko po.
That's the bottom line.
Dede po ang point ko. 21 municipalities. We have 35 municipalities. Why only 21? What happened now? What happens now with the other municipalities?
The other municipalities are
Ano po?
not within that poverty threshold,
Yeah.
meaning above. So the
Yeah, above.
other 17 or 16 are above poverty level. So the 21 are below the poverty threshold. Kaya
So,
nakapokus naman
Not
sila.
all municipalities recipient ka yan,
Yes.
bottom-up budgeting. Only 21 of the 35.
Similarly, with other provinces also, albeit not all the 16 municipalities are poor. Only I think half of that are poor.
Then we should rank the municipalities.
Similarly.
So that the mayors, mag-double ang kwenta.
Ayan, tama.
Pag sinabi mong province, garo, dyan ako kaya, garo probinsya nga ya. Pero yan pala, you should rank the municipalities. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, thank you. Any more questions? If there is none, the chair would like to share his observation in the proposed 2014 FMR projects. I noticed that 3rd District has the highest allocation. In terms of pesos, I think there is 50 million pesos with a length of 6.25 kilometers. A second is the 5th District. Is the 3rd District the biggest district in the province, or why is this so?
Ipapahiling ta. 2014?
2014 FMR, you said that the PDAF are not yet included in this proposed budget, but the chair is sharing with you his observation that the allocation for FMR projects, yeah, you can see that in this slide. Ang 4th District, kung saan kami hali, nakulo na FMR kay Puan naman, ano po ta, dahil man kami niluta na nindikit, kung bako man ini sa congressman, kung national government din eh. Ano po si criteria, what was the criteria used in trying to identify the projects in the different districts, especially in the construction of the FMR? Just asking, we're not questioning it, but we're just curious to know what criteria did you use in trying to identify the projects?
Okay. Salamat po. Actually po, pagdating po sa FMR, ang regional office po ay wala pong, hindi po siya ang nagde-decide kung alin pong mga FMR proposed projects ang i-approve. Yung pong mga request, galing po sa mga local government units, galing po sa mga congressmen, diretso po yan na pinapadala sa central office. Ang central office po, pag na-receive po yan, ibinabalik po sa regional office ng DA for validation ng mga proposed sites. Pagka na-validate po ng region, ibinabalik po yung resulta ng validation, and the central office po ang nagde-decide kung alin po yung a-approvean o alin po yung hindi a-approvean or ipa-prioritize. Kaya po siguro ang mga kasagot niyan ay yung central office po.
Okay, but the regional office can always make recommendations, give recommendations to the head office. Maybe the most effective way to do it is to convene all local chief executives in the private sector, the regional office, the DA, so that they can give their suggestion based on your criteria that you're using. Then we consider their proposals. Because actually sending their proposals to the head office is actually very contrary to your bottom-up budgeting.
Oh, tama.
So, if you really have, if you really would like to implement that bottom-up budgeting, sincerely implementing it, I suggest that you change your budgeting approach. The mechanism should be reviewed and should be looked into, because I think it's unfair. 3rd District is more industrialized or shall be more progressive than the 4th District, where I belong. But as I can see it, we're only allocated 20 million pesos. Is it because dikit siya na nag-request diba? Although the need is there? So siguro ang DA, may mga field officers po kamo na kamo mismo na nakaka-identify, na kamo po ang pinaka-effective na mag-identify because you are not politicians.
Okay.
So mahiling nila itong actual and real needs in the community. So I would suggest that based on your available data, you gather all these LGUs and you do not need to ask them to submit requests. It should be DA who should identify this. Sabi ko na kamo po ang pinaka-neutral and kamo ang pinaka-ideal na mag-identify because you are not politicians. So that's only a suggestion from the chair. And the chair also would like to share his observation. I'd like to thank the DA, especially Director RTD De Los Santos, because what we started, the provincial employees of the Provincial Agriculturist Office are now being detailed to the regional office. That was the very first item I discussed with the governor even before his assumption. The detail of our employees in the regional office so that they can contribute in the implementation of the various DA programs. And I'm happy that as reported by the RTD De Los Santos, it's now being pursued So I just would like to inform the body that the chairman, when he was still the chairman of the Committee on Agriculture, that was the first thing that we initiated and has been discussed with the governor, which has been pursued now. And I thank Director RTD Catalina Elena for doing that, and be assured of our total support to the program. Yes, the Honorable Noble is raising his hand.
Additional inquiry lang, mag-abo lang ako. Sir, nako-confuse lang ako. How about the BIPAR is under the Department of Agriculture? So, dyan po kayo sa nabayad ko, karo mayo kitang program in so far sa BIPAR.
Separate
Sa umbrella po kita ng
Separate
DA.
po kayo yung bureau.
So, yun ang nakita ko na so far po, baga, aware po kamo na nagkaako po pag kita mga Peacekill and buwi. I think yesterday, so nakikita ko as far as sa Batu being there are 2 lake in Rinconada. So ano ang program ng DA para po matawan tang solution on the part sa lake and buwi in Lake Batu?
Actually po, talagang ang para po sa mga lakes natin, saka yung pong sa fisheries, hawak po yan ng Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources na medyo separate po ang yung management saka yung OP sa amin.
But under the umbrella
Under
of,
po ng umbrella ng DA, pero at the regional level po, parang separate naman po yung implementation nila.
Then second, Madam, what about, Madam, the farm to market road? I think as of now, the ongoing project of the Department of Agriculture and buwi something Salay, almost 400 meters farm to market road. Paano po na-classified ang mga farm to market road na na-utilize or na-implement in different areas so far sa mga remote barangays?
Okay. Kagaya nga po nung nasabi ng ating kagalang-galang na chairman kanina, normally po dapat ang mga FMRs na yan, pag may mga proposal po ang mga LGUs, sana po papadaanin sa regional office. At ang regional office po, magkakandak po ng validation kung yan po ay eligible o kung pwede po siya or kung hindi. Pero siguro, we have to accept na may mga LGUs talaga na binabypass na po ang region, dinediretso na po sa central office, lalo na po kung may mga malalakas na makakapitan, we have to accept that. Pero hindi nila alam na ibinabalik din nga po sa region for validation. Yun po yung nangyayari. Pero in terms of approval, talaga pong sa central office po yung
meaning that particular project di yan nakasama doon sa proposal ninyo.
Oo.
Doon sa Then third, last question. Aware po kamo kang K-12 in preparation kang DepEd, kang Department of Education. So par po baga may tie-up sa TESDA. How about ang agriculture na dapat nga magkago kita program sa DepEd dahil po baga ang pinaka-prioritize ta agriculture. So mayroon man kamong tie-up sa Department of Education pertaining to that?
Marami po tayong tie-up sa Department of Education. Unang-una na po dyan yung gulayan sa paaralan. Almost 3 years ago pa po, nag-start po yung ating gulayan sa paaralan. And almost 100% po ng ating mga elementary and high schools ay meron po tayong gulayan. In fact, yan pong yung idea na yan o project concept na yan ay inadapt na rin po ng Department of Education. Meron na rin po silang sariling budget for the implementation of gulayan sa paaralan. In addition po, yung ating po mga technical vocational schools, pinarioritize din po yan ng ating secretary na mabigyan po ng funding assistance, lalo na po yung may mga lupa na pwede pong ma-develop for agricultural production purposes.
So for
Talaga
Madam,
pong meron tayo
last
niyan.
time, nag-attend ako ng administrator meeting with the private school. So ang pinaka-concern ko with that kind of project, sabi ko nga ano daw dakol kitang mga pobreng tao na nag-eskwela nga mga pobre na galing sa mga farmers. Pero mayo po kitang program in terms of scholarship, mga scholar po ako yan sa mga estudyante, mga deserving student, na dapat kuta na matawan tapong lugar. So yan mga recommendation kung ano pong maray, igwaman po kamo mga program in terms of
Okay. Ang DA po, under po ng ASEP, yung Agricultural Competitiveness Enhancement Fund, meron po tayong mga scholars sa mga state colleges and universities.
So, paano kami makaabil in terms of dito sa province of Camarines Sur para magkaroon tayo ng tie-up?
Sige.
Para naman si Governor Mix last time nag-distribute ng mga scholarship program sa mga colleges, then mga state university. Anong mas maray na magkaaguman po tie-up with the province of Camarines Sur in terms of scholarship program?
Okay, siguro po kasi hindi natin masyadong alam yung ano noon. Meron po tayong focal person dyan para sa ASEP and siguro one of these days, pabibisitahin po namin para ma-explain po sa inyo bukal yung, yung procedure.
So, being Madam the chairman of higher education, maybe mga next time or mag-invite ako to your department or representative
Mga
para po
scholarship.
makaabil kami with that particular project in terms of scholarship. Thank you very much, Step Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Honorable Noble. Anybody, any questions from the body? If there is none, the chair would like to thank our guest this morning, the representative of Director Bragas, Regional Technical Director Elena De Los Santos, and Mr. Parato. Thank you for honoring our invitation. I hope next time you will still honor our invitation. And thank you for considering our suggestions.
Okay, thank you.
1 minute recess. Thank you.
Naghagad ng kopya kan journal.
Pero ang sabi ko, may mga isa na siya, priority siya. Baka pwede na naman. Di apunta na ako. Kung urgent, kung namin sa kayo, kung urgent naman ay, specialization na lang. Sige po. Yeah. Session will now resume.
Reference to business, F4.
F4.
Majority.
The chairman is still in the comfort zone.
Reference to business, F4. Review of municipal and city resolutions and ordinances.
Mr. Chairman, We have 4 items under review of municipal and city resolutions and ordinances. I move for the referral of these items as marked.
All items for review are hereby referred to the different committees as identified by the chair of the Committee on Rules.
Calendar business, G1.
Calendar
Committee
of
report.
Business.
Committee on Gender and
G1.
Development. Honorable Fabio F. Figuracion.
The committee report of the Honorable Figuracion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Speaker Pro Temp. Under committee report, under Committee on Gender and Development, one item. Item number 1, resolution number 2013-46 of the Municipality of San Fernando, Camarines Sur, entitled Resolution Enacting the Ordinance Creating a PhilHealth Capitation Fund from the proceeds of the outpatient consultation and diagnostic benefit package to be provided by the PhilHealth for qualified indigent families of the Municipality of San Fernando, CamSur, under the indigent sector component of the National Health Insurance Program, NHIP. It was referred to the committee on August 6, 2013. The findings resolution is enacted within the scope of authority of the prescribed powers conferred upon the SB of San Fernando, CS under RA 7160. Public hearing and posting were duly conducted. Committee recommendation, Mr. Chair, the resolution is hereby declared valid and recommended for its approval. I move for the approval of the resolution on Committee on Gender and Development.
Any second? Duly seconded by the Honorable Hernandez. Any remarks? Objection? The chair hears none. The same resolution is the same report. Committee report is hereby approved and adopted.
G1B, Committee on Land Use, Conversion and Reclassification.
The Honorable Naval.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have here an ordinance coming from the municipality of Caramoan enacting the comprehensive zoning ordinance of that municipality. However, Mr. Chairman, noting that Caramoan has not yet passed or has no approved land use plan, which according to the local government code, the zoning ordinance should be in consonance with the approved land use plan. So with this, Mr. Chairman, the committee recommended that said zoning ordinance be returned back without action to the municipality so that they should come up with the land use plan first, comprehensive land use plan, before the zoning ordinance. So with this, Mr. Chairman, the committee recommends that the zoning ordinance of the municipality of Caramoan be referred back to that municipality without action.
Any second? Duly seconded. The same committee report is hereby adopted and approved.
G1C, Committee on Rules, Internal Government and Public Accountability.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have here a resolution coming from Board Member Julia creating the Provincial Project Monitoring Council. This is in connection with the Price Monitoring Council of the DTI and for the Camarines Sur. Finding the resolution in order, I move, Mr. Chairman, to the committee recommends for its approval. So I move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Any second? Duly seconded. Any objection? Remarks? The chair hears none. The same committee report is hereby approved and adopted.
G1D, Committee on Peace and Order.
The Honorable Espiritu is...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a committee report from the Committee on Peace and Order, Human Rights and Prisoners' Welfare regarding the letter from Police Senior Superintendent Ramiro Mendinilla Bausa, our Acting Provincial Director, Provincial Police Office, Camarines Sur, dated July 16, 2013, requesting for a passage of provincial ordinance or resolution approving and or adopting the Local Anti-Criminality Action Plan, otherwise known as LACA, provincial level. Now, the committee findings hence in consonance with the provision of the section 116 of the Local Government Code of 1991, the Executive Order and Executive Order number 309, series of 1987, it is deemed proper and appropriate to refer this request to the Provincial Peace and Order Council through its chairman, the Honorable Governor Mix Villafuerte, for further study and appropriate action on the matter. Now, the committee, through this representation, further stresses that the Committee on Peace and Order cannot usurp the power vested on the Provincial Peace and Order Council. Hence, the recommendation, after due consideration of the foregoing, the request cannot be given due course by the committee until such a recommendation and/or a resolution from the Provincial Peace and Order Council approving the local anti-criminality action plan, otherwise known as LACA, provincial level, be made. I move for its adoption and approval, Mr. Chairman.
Any second? Duly seconded. The same committee report is hereby adopted and approved.
Mr. Chairman, may we ask Board Member Espiritu whether it is only containing one item? I suppose there was a resolution calling for an investigation for human rights violation during the commotion last September 11 at the Villa.
Yes.
Noted, Mr. Chairman.
No,
Actually,
noted.
I was just asking whether there was, pero may manda ako lang. September 11, Mr. Chairman, that was the election of the PCL.
Okay. Yes, okay. Okay, so, next item.
Other matters.
Other matters. Yes, the Honorable Lopra. Yes, what's your inquiry?
Thank you, Board Member Nabal. No offense meant pa rin. Mr. Chairman, earlier, Board Member Warren Sanya tried to take from the Committee of Board Member Simando, to take out from the Committee of Board Member Simando, an allegedly very urgent measure that we should approve. Now, Mr. Chairman, my question is this. Where is that measure now? Because I'm very much willing to approve it now, to vote for it now. But the point, Mr. Chairman, is to show us if that is an ordinance, where is the ordinance? Because, Mr. Chairman, it is basic. An ordinance should have a title. It should have a brief explanatory note. Minimum requirements, Mr. Chairman. If they can put that up today, this morning, I am very much willing to co-sponsor it, Mr. Chairman. Oh. Because not all, kung bakuin imposible. Kasi ang Sangguniang Panlalawigan, we can act on matters na emergency nature o talaga napaka-urgent. Ngunyan, Mr. Chairman, kung dahil may presentar digdi, bako po yan kasalan kan Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Ang may kasalan digdi, itong dapat nagpadala kan mga dokumento. Oh. Pero ang oras na nag-agi, anong sasabihin nito duman sa mga marayang kaisipan ng mga namamayokang probinsya? Nagsayom ang panlalawigan? Never. Pirmi kitang nasa pagsurog, urong na tamang kakampi kita kang gobernador. Kundi hain ang aaprobaran. Mr. Chairman, hain na. Oh.
Okay, may I know from the author, the Honorable Senior, there was a motion later on that it will be discussed later. So may we know, there is an inquiry from...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I was the author, Mr. Chairman, but now I am no longer the author. It was referred to the Committee on Laws and Review. Once it is referred to the Committee on Laws and Review,
You are still the owner. You are still the author.
the committee...
It was only referred.
Sino na? Ang yun sa committee na, Mr. Chairman. And in fact, Mr. Chairman, the board member Nopra is correct, Mr. Chairman. We wanted to take it out from the committee only because we were waiting, Mr. Chairman, sa Sinda. Because we asked them, may mga requirements, bagang bighagal kita, that the provincial attorney should certify as to whether it is included in the AIP, a certification as to the availability of fund. They have to comply. They said, Mr. Chairman, that they will comply today. Up to this moment, Mr. Chairman, Mayo, but siguro, sige pang gibuninda. I don't know, Mr. Chairman. I give it to the body, Mr. Chairman. what we shall do with the proposed ordinance, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman.
So since we've given them sufficient time and it's on the record that we're looking for the documents now, and they could not provide the needed documents, the chair would like to suggest to the body that if that is really an urgent measure, then since the documents are not yet in, that we can deliberate on, I think we will just call for an special session if that is really very urgent. So we will discuss that matter with the executive so that if it is urgent, we'll just call for a special session to treat that matter. So considering that it's almost 12 o'clock and they have not yet provided us the documents, I think it's high time that we set that aside in the meantime.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Siguro, as long as Mr. Chairman, may special session and give us the board members siguro, gasoline allowance siguro.
Yeah. Yes, the Honorable Nopra, please use the rostrum.
It is very urgent, sabi. And kay po na maray, pwede daw, Mr. Chairman, tabangan tano, tutong nasa balyo. Pwede po. Dahil pa kita mag-adjourn. Ma-adjourn kita, temporary lang. Mag-resume kita launa. Alatunta pa po. Araw kita kayo sir kasuportado sa inda.
Well, what's the decision of the body? Nasa committee pa.
Mr. Chairman, pag po nalas 12 po talauna, baka magagawa ng resulta po.
May we know the opinion of our chairman?
Actually, Mr. Chairman, we do not discuss the matter because it is not part of our session. They man to na-approve. We withdraw bagay ito the board members niya. Anyway, the matter is already with the committee and we can adhere with the request or the proposal of board member Nopra to just be on recess so that we can wait for, but it will be at the cudgels of board member Simando, being the chairman of the committee. Kasi actually, ang proposal nasa committee niya eh. Unless na he wants that everybody should be part of the committee so that we can discuss the matter and bank.
Okay, the Honorable Simando is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, the matter has been referred to my committee. And we have yet to study the draft resolution. And we'll also wait for the submission of the documentary requirements before the committee could act on the same. As soon as the requirements are with me, then I'll come out with the necessary report immediately.
So we now have, Mr. Chairman, the guarantee or warranty from the committee chairman that it will be expedited.
Yes, I commit, Mr. Chairman, that I'll do my job ASAP.
ASAP?
Okay.
So are we going to adjourn or recess lang ba di? Recess. I move for a long recess, Mr. Chairman.
Long recess. Okay, we will have a recess until 1 o'clock.
Until such time that we are able to approve the ordinance.
No. Until 1 o'clock. We will resume at 1 o'clock. Ano si Pepino?